In the freezing winter of ancient Italy, Rome faced a reality it had never prepared for. War was no longer something fought on distant shores. It had crossed mountains, rivers, and expectations, and now stood on Italian soil. At the center of this crisis was Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general who defied logic by marching his army across the Alps. What followed along the banks of the Trebbia River was not merely a clash of armies, but a demonstration of how intelligence, patience, and deception can overpower sheer force. This was the moment Rome discovered that discipline alone was not enough. The Second Punic War began as a struggle for dominance in the western Mediterranean. Rome, confident after decades of expansion, believed it could decide where and how the war would be fought. Its strategy was bold. Pressure Carthage in Spain and North Africa, keeping the conflict far from Italy. The plan rested on one unchallenged assumption, that no enemy could threaten the Roman homeland. Hannibal destroyed that assumption. By descending into the Po Valley, he overturned Rome's expectations overnight. What had been a distant war became an invasion. Roman senators now faced the unthinkable, a foreign general moving freely among Italy's northern tribes. The first encounter came near the Ticinus River. Though limited in scale, its consequences were enormous. Roman cavalry under Publius Cornelius Scipio were outmaneuvered, and Scipio himself was wounded during the fighting. As Roman forces withdrew, Hannibal pressed forward. Soldiers left behind during the retreat were captured, and word of Rome's vulnerability spread quickly. Gallic tribes began to shift their loyalties. Even worse for Rome, Gallic auxiliaries serving in the Roman army defected openly, some violently, before joining Hannibal. Hannibal handled them carefully. Rather than integrating them directly into his ranks, he rewarded them and sent them back to their tribes to gather support. He understood that influence and perception were as powerful as weapons. The reaction in Rome was swift and anxious. The Senate recalled Tiberius Sempronius Longus from Sicily, abandoning a planned invasion of Africa. Rome had shifted from offense to defense. Sempronius was bold, ambitious, and eager for battle. In contrast, Scipio, wounded and weakened, urged caution. The Roman army now suffered from divided leadership, a dangerous flaw when facing a commander like Hannibal. As both Roman forces assembled near the Trebbia River, Rome held numerical superiority, but lacked unity, patience, and clarity. Hannibal did not rush into combat. He studied the terrain, the weather, and the temperament of his enemy. The Trebbia River, swollen by rain and bordered by dense vegetation, offered the perfect setting for deception. From his army, Hannibal selected 2,000 elite soldiers, chosen for discipline, endurance, and reliability. Under cover of darkness, they were hidden along the riverbanks and wooded ground. While Roman soldiers endured cold nights and uncertainty, Hannibal ensured his men were rested, fed, and prepared. To him, readiness was a weapon. At dawn, Hannibal launched a limited attack on the Roman camp. The move was deliberate and calculated. Sempronius interpreted it as weakness and responded exactly as Hannibal hoped. Without allowing his troops to eat or properly prepare, he ordered an immediate advance. Roman soldiers were forced to cross the icy Trebbia River, weighed down by armor and weapons. By the time they reached the far bank, they were soaked, shivering, and exhausted. Hannibal's army advanced warm, dry, and ready. The battle opened with fierce fighting. Roman infantry pressed forward with discipline and determination. Hannibal's infantry held firm, while his cavalry dominated the flanks. Then the trap was sprung. At Hannibal's signal, the hidden troops burst from concealment, striking the Roman flanks and rear simultaneously. Confusion spread instantly. Commands failed. Formations collapsed. Encircled and weakened by cold and exhaustion, the Roman army disintegrated. Retreat turned into slaughter. Only a portion of the Roman center managed to break through. The rest were killed, captured, or drowned in the same river they had crossed moments earlier. Rome had suffered something unprecedented, the destruction of a consular army on Italian soil. Sempronius attempted to soften the blow in his report, but the consequences were unavoidable. Italian allies questioned Roman protection. Gallic tribes openly embraced Hannibal. Supplies, manpower, and momentum now flowed toward Carthage. Rome's greatest weapon, its reputation for invincibility, had been shattered. Despite his triumph, Hannibal's position remained fragile. His army faced disease, hunger, and exhaustion. Flooded terrain and brutal marches took their toll. Hannibal himself lost sight in one eye due to illness. Yet even weakened, he retained the initiative. At Trebbia, Hannibal demonstrated that wars are not won by numbers alone, but by preparation, psychological insight, and mastery of terrain. The Battle of Trebbia was not Hannibal's largest victory, but it was among his most instructive. Rome learned that courage without coordination leads to disaster. Hannibal proved that understanding an enemy's mindset can decide a battle before it begins. These lessons would echo again at Lake Trasimene and Cannae, shaping military thought for centuries. Yet Trebbia also revealed a deeper truth: battlefield brilliance cannot replace long-term political strategy. Hannibal could win battles, but not the war itself. The waters of the Trebbia River carried more than blood. They carried a warning. Rome could be beaten. And genius, without lasting strategic support, can still fall short.